In high school, my junior year, I failed English 3 twice. I couldn't give an oral book report. I went to summer school, had to take it again, and still couldn't get it. And of course, it's good to stutter when you hadn't read the book, you know. But the senior year, I had to write a poem, and I'd never written a poem in my life. And the old boy in study hall said, Robert, you got your poem? I said, no, I don't have it. He said, well, you know what Miss Wyndham said, you can't graduate with 2 Englishes, you got to have 3. I said, well, I never wrote a poem. I don't know anything about writing poems. He said, well, here's a title in the book, How Tommy Saved the Day. Oh, man. There's that poem, just that fast. And Tommy was a little water boy, and all he was good for was to hold that ball for a field goal or extra point. So I got in class, all the others had 2-liners. She said, Robert Ellis, my teacher called me Robert Ellis Coleman. Robert Ellis, you got your poem? Yes, ma'am. I smiled, happy. She didn't believe it. She said, well, let's hear it. How Tommy Saved the Day. Now, we were playing this little town of Drew, Mississippi. That's where the Mannings came from.
Drew, Mississippi.
Drew, Mississippi. That's where the Archie Manning, Eli, and their family. Of course, they weren't even born back in 1946. But anyway, this was the poem, How Tommy Saved the Day. The night was cold and rainy there, and the crowd was on its feet, and everyone was tense and tight. We had Drew to beat. The home team was in the huddle with a minute left to play when out on the field came a figure. 'Cause little Tommy saved the day. Now the signals would change. A place kick was called. The team had plenty of pep as the center snapped the ball. Little Tommy would be holding on the 20-yard line. The scoreboard favored Drew, which read 12-9. If the field goal was made, the game would be tied. But a touchdown would have the game won. So when Tommy got hold of the ball, he decided he'd try to run. He started off flowing fast. He cut outside left end. He had only 4 men to pass before his team could win. He spun, he turned, he ran he ran on just the same. And everyone is proud of him now because Reuvel won the game. Now those kids in class jumped up and they screamed and hollered and clapped. The teacher said, shut up, shut up. You didn't write that. The little boy in study hall said, yes ma'am, I watched him write it 15 minutes ago. No, he couldn't do it. Old dummy Robert Ellis. She gave me a 0. And I found the difference between pride and integrity. Pride, you're trying to look good. Integrity, she gave me 1,000 zeros. She could never take that poem away.
Yay!
You said, then you saw her name in the phone book one day, many, many years later.
Oh, yes.
Went to visit her.
No, I tell you what. Next to the last day of school, we had a senior party. And she was there at the party. And she said, now, Robert Ellis, you turn in 7 handwritten book reports tomorrow and I'll let you graduate. I turned in 7 handwritten book reports. 7 different handwritings. She let me graduate. Well, I saw her 60 years later. My wife and I went to see her in a nursing home in the little town of Greenville, Mississippi. I said, Miss Wyndham, yes, this is Robert Ellis. Do you remember me? Oh, Robert Ellis, how could I ever forget you? I said, I'm in town, I want to come see you. So she said, please do. I went over and kissed her and gave her a copy of my book, Rays of Blight. It's got 76 poems that I wrote since I wrote The Stone. Wow. And I started reciting How Tommy Saved the Day, hoping she might remember it and let me graduate. Well, after 2 weeks, I called her up. Miss Wyndham, how do you like my poems? Well, Robert Ellis, how do you think I like your poem? I said, listen, woman, I've been trying for 60 years to get a passing grade out of you. She said I loved them, so I guess I passed.